There comes a moment in every person's life when the room goes quiet, the phone stops ringing, the applause disappears. The people who once promised to stay suddenly become strangers. You look around, hoping someone will believe in you, encourage you, or simply remind you that you matter. But no one comes. And that moment, the moment that feels like abandonment, is often the moment that creates greatness. The truth is, the world does not guarantee you support. It does not promise you mentors, opportunities, or perfect circumstances. Many of the people you admire today began their journey in complete silence. They faced rejection before recognition, loneliness before leadership, and failure before success. They learned the hardest lesson of all: if you wait for someone else to rescue your life, you may wait forever. Self-reliance begins the moment you stop expecting someone else to carry the weight of your dreams. It is easy to believe that success belongs to those with powerful connections, wealthy families, supportive friends, or influential mentors, but history repeatedly proves that many extraordinary achievements were born from ordinary people who decided to rely on themselves. There is a unique strength that develops when you understand that your future cannot depend on circumstances beyond your control. When no one is there to encourage you, you become your own source of motivation. When no one offers guidance, you begin searching for knowledge with greater determination. When no one opens doors for you, you learn how to build your own. This mindset changes everything because it shifts your focus away from what you lack and toward what you can create. Every day becomes an opportunity to strengthen your character rather than complain about your challenges. You stop asking why life is unfair and start asking what actions you can take today to move one step closer to your goals. That single shift in perspective transforms obstacles into training grounds where confidence is earned through action instead of empty words. Every challenge you overcome without outside help adds another layer of resilience to your character. You begin trusting yourself because you have seen your own ability to survive difficult moments. Confidence is no longer borrowed from compliments or praise, but built through repeated evidence that you can face uncertainty and still keep moving. This is the foundation of unshakable self-reliance. It is not about believing life will always be easy. It is about believing that regardless of what happens, you will find a way forward. There will always be moments when people disappoint you. Friends may disappear, opportunities may vanish, promises may be broken, and expectations may collapse without warning. If your emotional stability depends entirely on other people, every disappointment becomes a devastating setback. Self-reliance protects you from becoming emotionally controlled by circumstances you cannot manage. It teaches you to remain steady even when everything around you changes. Instead of allowing rejection to define your worth, you recognize that your value exists independently of anyone else's opinion. This freedom is incredibly powerful because it allows you to make decisions based on principles instead of approval. You become less interested in impressing people and more committed to becoming the best version of yourself. Discipline replaces excuses because you understand that your habits determine your future far more than temporary emotions. Every morning you choose to work while others sleep. Every evening you continue learning while others waste time. And every difficult decision you make strengthens the muscles of self-control. Those daily victories may seem small, but they accumulate into remarkable transformation over time. Self-reliance also means accepting complete responsibility for your life. Blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck might provide temporary comfort, but it also steals your power to change. Responsibility is not a punishment. It is a privilege because it reminds you that your choices still matter. Even if you cannot control every event, you can always control your response. That realization places your future back into your own hands. The strongest individuals understand that waiting for perfect conditions is one of the greatest obstacles to progress. They act despite uncertainty because they know clarity often appears after movement begins, not before. Every skill can be learned, every weakness can be improved, and every setback can become valuable experience if you remain committed to growth. Building self-reliance requires patience because genuine strength develops gradually through consistent effort. There are no shortcuts to becoming mentally resilient. Every difficult season teaches lessons that comfort never could. Every failure reveals weaknesses that success often hides. Every lonely chapter forces you to discover abilities you never realized you possessed. Instead of fearing those experiences, embrace them as opportunities to become stronger. Independence does not mean refusing help whenever it is available. It means never allowing your progress to stop simply because help has not arrived. You continue moving with whatever resources you have, trusting that persistence creates possibilities invisible to those who quit too early. Eventually, your consistent effort begins attracting opportunities because prepared people recognize and seize chances that others overlook. As your confidence grows, you stop chasing validation and begin pursuing excellence. Excellence becomes your standard because it reflects your personal values rather than external recognition. You realize that your greatest competition has never been another person. It has always been the version of yourself that chooses comfort over courage, excuses over responsibility, and fear over action. Every time you overcome that inner resistance, you strengthen your ability to lead yourself through uncertainty with greater wisdom and determination. The remarkable truth about self-reliance is that once you master it, you are never truly powerless again because you carry your greatest resource wherever you go, and that resource is disciplined, resilient, and unwavering person you have chosen to become. Solitude has a reputation for being something to fear, yet it is often the birthplace of extraordinary transformation. Most people avoid being alone because silence forces them to confront their thoughts, fears, insecurities, and unanswered questions. They fill every empty moment with noise, distractions, or the company of others because they believe loneliness is a sign that something is missing. In reality, solitude is not the absence of people, it is the presence of yourself. It is the space where your mind becomes clear enough to hear your own voice instead of the endless opinions of the world. When you learn to embrace that space, you unlock a level of personal growth that cannot be achieved through constant validation or approval from others. Every great achievement begins with a decision made in private, long before the world notices the results. The strongest ideas are developed in quiet moments. The deepest confidence is built without an audience. And the greatest visions are often born when no one else understands them. Solitude gives you the freedom to think independently instead of following the crowd. It allows you to question beliefs you have accepted without examination and replace them with principles that truly reflect who you are becoming. This independence of thought is one of the greatest advantages a person can possess because it protects you from living someone else's definition of success. Instead of chasing popularity, you begin pursuing purpose. Instead of comparing yourself to everyone around you, you become focused on improving who you were yesterday. That shift changes your priorities completely because your attention is no longer wasted on competition, but invested in personal mastery. During seasons of solitude, you also develop emotional resilience. Without constant reassurance from others, you learn how to encourage yourself through difficult moments. You begin discovering that your strength has never depended on how many people stand beside you, but on your willingness to keep moving even when nobody is watching. Every challenge you overcome alone becomes evidence that you are stronger than you once believed. Every obstacle teaches you patience, discipline, and adaptability. These qualities cannot simply be taught through books or speeches. They are earned through experience, often during the quiet chapters of life when progress feels invisible. Solitude also sharpens your awareness. When distractions disappear, you begin noticing habits that either strengthen or weaken your future. You recognize where you waste time, where fear controls your decisions, and where excuses prevent growth. Instead of blaming outside circumstances, you become honest with yourself. That honesty creates lasting change because you stop pretending everything is fine and begin addressing the areas that truly need improvement. Personal growth always begins with self-awareness, and self-awareness flourishes in silence. The ability to sit alone with your thoughts without feeling uncomfortable is one of the clearest signs of inner maturity. It means your identity is no longer dependent on constant entertainment or endless approval. You have become comfortable with your own company because you understand that your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship you will ever have. Solitude also teaches patience, a quality that is becoming increasingly rare in a world obsessed with immediate gratification. Success rarely arrives overnight, yet many people abandon their dreams because they expect instant rewards. When you spend time alone working toward your goals, you begin appreciating slow progress. You understand that meaningful achievements require repetition, consistency, and endurance. Each day may appear ordinary, but every disciplined action adds another brick to the foundation of your future. Over time, those invisible efforts create remarkable results that surprise everyone except the person who quietly built them. Solitude strengthens creativity because your mind finally has room to explore ideas without interruption. Some of the greatest inventions, works of art, businesses, and life-changing decisions emerged from individuals who spent long periods thinking deeply instead of reacting constantly to external noise. Your greatest solutions often appear when you stop searching for distractions and allow your thoughts to settle. This is why solitude should never be mistaken for weakness. It is an environment where clarity grows, confidence deepens, and purpose becomes unmistakable. As your comfort with solitude increases, you become less vulnerable to unhealthy relationships and negative influences. You no longer remain around people simply because you fear being alone. Instead, you choose relationships that inspire growth, honesty, and mutual respect. Your standards rise because you recognize that peace is more valuable than temporary companionship. You understand that it is better to walk alone toward a meaningful destination than to follow a crowd that is moving in the wrong direction. Eventually, the loneliness that once frightened you becomes a source of strength because you realize those quiet seasons were preparing you for responsibilities, opportunities, and challenges that required a stronger version of yourself. The person who once feared standing alone now walks with confidence, knowing that solitude was never meant to isolate you from greatness. It was meant to shape your character, sharpen your vision, strengthen your discipline, and reveal that the greatest companion you will ever need is the resilient person you become through the silent work that nobody else can see so consistently that your results become impossible to ignore. Let your discipline speak louder than your excuses. Let your actions become your introduction. One day, the same people who overlooked you will wonder how you changed your life. But by then, you will understand that the greatest gift was never their approval. The greatest gift was discovering that you never needed it. You were never waiting for someone else to unlock your potential. You were waiting to realize that the key had been in your hands the entire time. Stand up, even if you stand alone. Move forward, even if nobody follows. Keep learning, even if nobody teaches. Keep believing, even if nobody understands. Because the people who change their lives are rarely the ones with the most support. They are the ones who refuse to let the absence of support become the excuse for an ordinary life. The world may not always be there for you, but your discipline can be, your courage can be, your vision can be, your determination can be, and when those become your companions, you will discover something extraordinary. You were never alone. You were simply becoming the person capable of walking a path that very few people have the courage to take.